My name is Wright Jr. from Dimension X Marketing. I'm here with my good friend and client, Tom Griffin, who is the President and CEO of Catalyst Sales. Welcome to the show, Tom. How are you?
I'm spectacular, Norm. Thank you for having me.
So what we're going to talk about today, this is our first inaugural show, just to try everything out, see how Google Hangouts works, see if it's going to work for marketing purposes for not only your company, but other companies that are out there, small to mid-sized businesses. What I'd like to talk about, Tom, is digital marketing and how it's played a role in the success of your organization. So, and if you just want to go ahead and just sum up some things.
Sure. So we first released our digital marketing a little over a year ago. I think around the beginning of the second quarter of 2012. I was pretty skeptical. Didn't think the video piece, couldn't conceive of how that would work or how it would be produced or how effective it would be. And shortly after we released the video and began doing the digital marketing, we had an opportunity for a new client. And the client, part of the presentation, a new client, we showed him what we were doing with digital marketing, and he was absolutely blown away. And that was a major reason for us getting that new client right out of the gate. Which
now, when you talk about the video, Tom, not to interrupt you, but you're talking about your Tech Talk show that we talked about, right?
Right. Yeah, yes, it's a product video, technical product video, and we showed them an example of one that we had created, and that was a large part of them giving us the contract. And shortly after that, we had another opportunity where one of our clients was merging with a different client, and they merged as one, and they had to decide who they would contract with. The new company's merging company's client, or merging company's rep firm, or the company we represented, rep firm. And we were going against the merging company's largest and oldest rep firm, and we were chosen again. A major consideration was our digital networking, our SEO, and so it paid for itself pretty quickly.
Now, one of the big things when we originally discussed that whole strategy with you, it wasn't just the Tech Talk show, but it was engaging all social marketing, social media, and it was unique to your industry. Not too many people are doing that, which differentiated you.
That's an understatement, right? There's no one, and still a year later, that I'm aware of, that are doing it. And yes, you're correct. And part of the presentation on the second client, which was a much bigger deal for us, was the entire program that we were doing with SEO and what we're doing on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and all of, and the blog site and all of those things. We changed our image, we changed our logo and our website and all of those things. But yeah, it was effective, and I was quite skeptical.
Yeah, well, and that's the funny part about it. When I tell people the story about your company and how you guys in your industry, we hear that a lot in marketing is, well, people in our industry, they're not on Facebook, they're not on LinkedIn, they're not on Twitter, they're not using this kind of stuff. And you even had the same kind of a reaction a little bit at first, and then we get you behind the camera, in front of the camera, in a green screen studio setting, a virtual studio, and all of a sudden, boom, you become this celebrity in your industry almost overnight. Really, right?
Well, the first year we had, I think we had 4 of our principals ask me to speak at their national sales meeting regarding social networking and social marketing, because they really liked what we were doing in that space. And like you said, no one was really doing that. So yeah, it was effective. And the thing I would say is, you showed me a sample video of a client you had that you did a video on, and watching that, I couldn't imagine how it would work. I couldn't imagine where the where the text would come from, the content, and so but it all came together.
And I think that's a legitimate concern and fear for a lot of companies that are out there. Like, how am I going to come up with something brand new? How am I going to do something fresh every show or every blog post or whatever content you're working on? But and you've learned this obviously. If you're committed to your industry, committed to actually adding value and helping people in your industry, the content's easier to find because there's always a new problem. There's always a new solution or a new piece of value you can help people with out there. So it's kind of like the content presents itself along the journey in a sense, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what was like some of the biggest hurdles with being consistent in your campaign?
Easily prioritizing and allocating time to prepare for video campaigns. I mean, that's easily the biggest challenge is sitting down and allocating the time to prepare the content. And these videos are 2 minutes, and we do a lot of presentations in our business, so we know about rehearsing and practicing and being prepared. So it takes time to do that, and to do 2 a month, which is our objective, just takes a commitment.
It does take commitment, absolutely. And one of the things that I've noticed with your particular industry, you have 2 different types of customers. You have your principal companies upstream, and you also have your customers downstream that your sales team contacts. And when you and I first sat down and really analyzed everything related to the growth of your organization and the struggle points in your industry, one of the glaring things that stuck out to both of us, if you recall, was, it's not about just selling people products. It's about truly reaching them and connecting with them on multiple formats, not just knocking on the doors and setting up appointments. It's actually about engaging with them and adding value and sharing that knowledge with them on more of a social level, and that's why we embrace social media so much. What was your thought process at that time, Tom, about that?
At what time now?
Back when we first started the strategy.
So the way this all started was I was at a seminar regarding working with and selling to the X and Y generation, and it talked about social networking and how video is an important part of that, and that's what made me think I need to change our image and redo our website, and that's when we contacted you, and I knew I wanted to do something different, and I knew I wanted to be leading edge because we always pride ourselves in being leading edge. So really, the product videos we're doing are for the customers that buy the product, but the reason the companies that we're doing them for are our clients who have hired us to sell the product. So they're the ones that we're doing this for. This is part of our service to them. So
yeah. That really separates you.
So that's the upstream part.
Yeah, you're not only a sales rep organization now, and that was I think one of the biggest turning points with everything is you went from being sales rep group to sales and marketing organization, where you really understand the marketing aspects, which other people in your industry just can't even put their minds around, at all. And you've embraced it, and not only embraced it, you're at the point, in my opinion, where you're mastering it and you've really refined it. And that's what's given you guys, in my opinion, some tremendous success that we've talked about. And even in our most recent meetings or strategy sessions that we've had here at Dimension X with you, we've talked about what's the next thing. So what's the next step in the whole equation here? So we're always engaging at that new and unique level. So pretty much your competition can't catch up to you. Are you nervous about any of the new things we've been recommending, out there?
You probably can't. Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay. Well.
So
technical difficulty. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to do this. There we go. So I plugged in my docking station, which then uses the wire network, hoping maybe it'll help the bandwidth.
Okay.
Yeah, downside is that you are now on my big screen, and you're not where I'm looking at for the camera.
Too much of normal rate on your screen, I'm sorry.
Well, plus but I can't look. I have to look at I have to look at the camera on the laptop, which is. Hold on, let me see if I can get it closer. There, that might be better.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah, that's not bad at all, actually.
I don't know if it's a good idea to have me on the big screen like that.
I know.
So the question I was saying there, Tom, before the internet really interrupted us, was moving forward with some of the new strategies that we've discussed in recent times.
I'm sorry. So anyway, will you ask me that question again, please?
Yeah, go ahead. You have to get that.
No, it's my wife. We're on a live show, and this is my wife, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
Come on over, Laurie. Say hi.
Say hi to the internet.
Come on. It's Laurie. Come here. Let's see. Come on, over, stand by me so you can see. So there you are. You're live on the internet.
Hi, Laurie. How are you?
I'm talking about Bill's
Okay, I'll have to call him back. I'm on a live show. We're live on the internet. We could show it to you.
Live on the internet. So the question that I was asking, and this is the final question I'll ask for you, Tom, is in recent days, okay, over the past few months, we've been back to next level strategies,
right,
with your organization, and we always try to constantly push that envelope to make sure that we keep our clients and yourself in particular out in front, so the competition really can't get a toehold on you at all. Right. What goes through your minds in the planning sessions when you come here to Dimension X and sit down with us?
You're out of your mind.
Okay.
Well, what goes through my mind with the planning sessions? Well, it's generally new and innovative ideas. And I'm, hesitant now to not consider them because many of them have worked quite well.
Okay, good. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard that I was out of my mind. So. Okay.
Yeah, right. Except from, of course, Rochelle every day, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. And
But
Coach
Tom
D and Kelly and yeah.
Pretty much everybody who knows me.
Right.
But it's all for the betterment, right? It's all to grow.
That's right. Right.
Well, Tom, you have any last minute things? Any minute advice related to digital marketing, anything of that nature, about Dimension X, maybe?
Well, I would just say, you guys have been very effective. You're very creative, and that you just have to go for it. You can't. I said at a presentation recently when we were talking about our digital marketing to a company that we were interviewing to represent, that you don't want to be there. And what I said to this company was, you don't want to go a year from now and have chosen the other company and said, boy, this has been good and everything, but boy, I wonder what would have happened if we'd have chosen Catalyst and done that digital marketing thing. I wonder if it wouldn't have been better. And I said, you don't want to be there. And that's what I would say to somebody that's considering not doing the digital marketing. Is you could not do it and save the money and say, a year later we're fine. You don't want to be sitting there thinking, boy, I wonder what it would have been like if we'd have done it. Because there's no guarantees, but ours paid for itself the first year pretty quickly. That 1 year was paid for. So that's what I would say is, if you don't go for it, then you're going to wonder what happened if you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point. I think a lot of people actually lose momentum too, Tom, when they go down the path because they're a year behind now. Look at yourself.
Right.
I know you've talked to other people in your industry. And maybe not direct competitors, but people that you work with that are probably regretting to some level that they're not embracing it. Not necessarily with Dimension X, but with any other company. Work with any other company because they're not embracing digital.
Yeah, and maybe they are. I think many times they're not. They're just they don't. they don't think about it, and they're plugging along, and then one day they'll wake up and look and see what other people are doing and say, boy, I should have done this 5 years ago.
Now, do you think you don't think it's generational, do you, Tom, or do you think it's just complacency?
I don't. These people aren't complacent. They're busy, and they're trying to prioritize, and they're just maybe not. They're thinking about continuing on instead of stopping and saying, "What do I need to do to get to the next level?"
Okay.
So maybe in some ways that is complacency, but it's not. It doesn't feel like complacency. The people that I know, they're out there trying to grow their business, and they're just. I think they can't conceive of how it would work, and they don't know a company like you maybe, and they're thinking, like you can't figure it out in your head how it would work, and when you sit down with your company and you answer the questions and go through the process, then it comes together, and you say, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go through the process, in order to realize the actual vision, if you will.
Right.
From my end, it's very hard, to say, all right, Tom, here's what potentially could happen. You know what I mean? Because everything's custom, it's brand new, it's new to you, it's
Right.
So. Well, Tom, I appreciate you being on our inaugural show here. I hope we all learned a little bit about bandwidth and the internet and marketing, digital marketing.
Good.
And I love having you as a client, obviously. I mean, it's one of the true passionate companies that are out there, in my opinion. They really are always looking for that next thing, that what if, what else, and what next kind of a process. And it's a pleasure working with you, and pleasure having you here.
Hey, pleasure working with you as well, my friend. Happy to be here.
All right, thanks, Tom. Everybody,
You.
thank you so much for tuning in today, and we hope that you got something out of this. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call at Dimension X, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or even get onto a live broadcast like this here with you. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Take care.